Most people misunderstand moments like this. They feel special for a second, and then they go back to the same habits. But a Shaolin master would pause here, not to celebrate the moment, but to question it. I often teaches that life does not randomly select people for greatness. It responds to alignment, quietly, precisely, without emotion. So when something like this reaches you, it is not a reward, it is a reflection of what is slowly forming inside you. Think about it. There are millions of people scrolling, searching, wishing, yet very few stop and feel something deeper. A subtle pull, a quiet recognition. This is not luck, it is readiness, beginning to take shape. In Shaolin understanding, nothing enters your life without resonance. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are becoming. So the idea that you are chosen to be a millionaire is a comforting illusion, because being chosen requires nothing from you. But being invited changes everything. An invitation carries weight. It asks, can you become disciplined when no one is watching? Can you stay focused when distractions feel easier? Can you control your mind when emotions try to take over? Because wealth is not difficult to earn. It is difficult to hold without losing yourself. And this is where most people fail. Not in opportunity, but in identity. So this moment is not lifting you above others. It is placing something in front of you. A mirror, not showing who you are today, but who you must become to handle what you say you want. A clear mind is more valuable than a full wallet, because without clarity, even abundance becomes confusion. There is a quiet mistake most people make. They run toward money with a restless mind. They chase results while ignoring the patterns driving their behavior. But ancient teachings never begin with the outside world. They begin within. Sit still for a moment and observe. And not your goals, but your habits. The way you react when things don't go your way. The way your attention drifts without permission. The small impulses that control your actions throughout the day. This is where wealth is either built or quietly lost. In mindfulness, awareness is not passive. It is a form of control. When you can see an impulse rising and choose not to follow it, something subtle happens. Your energy stays with you, no longer scattered in distractions, no longer consumed by unnecessary thoughts, no longer wasted on reactions that led nowhere. This is what it means to stop leaking. Most people feel tired not because they work hard, but because their mind is constantly open, constantly reacting, constantly draining. But when awareness becomes steady, your energy begins to gather, like water no longer escaping through cracks. It starts to rise. And with that comes a different kind of power. You think more clearly, you act more deliberately. You waste less time correcting mistakes created by impulse. This is the kind of discipline that cannot be seen from the outside, but it changes everything on the inside. And slowly, without force, what was once scattered begins to accumulate. At the beginning, desire feels powerful. It gives you a vision, a sense of movement, a temporary fire that makes everything seem possible. But desire is unstable. It rises quickly and disappears just as fast. One day you feel driven, the next day you hesitate, and without realizing it, your progress begins to depend on your mood. This is where most people stop, not because they lack ability, but because they rely on feeling ready. Ancient training takes a different path. Instead of asking, do I feel like doing this today? It asks, what must be done, regardless of how I feel. This is where discipline begins, not as force, but as structure, a fixed time, a clear action, repeated without negotiation. At first it feels rigid, even uncomfortable, but over time, something shifts. The mind becomes quieter, the resistance loses its voice, and action becomes natural, almost automatic. This is controlled effort, not intense, not dramatic, but steady. Like water flowing over stone, it does not rush, yet it shapes everything in its path. Most people misunderstand progress. They look for bursts of energy, moments of extreme effort. but intensity is inconsistent, and inconsistency breaks momentum. True growth is built in smaller, quieter moments, the days when nothing feels special, yet the work is still done. This is the discipline that changes identity. You are no longer someone who tries, you become someone who continues. And in that continuity, something powerful happens. Your results stop depending on emotion. They begin to follow structure. And when your actions are no longer controlled by how you feel, they start to produce something far more reliable than motivation ever could. There is a cost to everything you give your attention to. Most people just don't see it. A few seconds here, a few minutes there. It feels harmless, almost invisible. But over time, these small moments begin to shape your direction, not through big decisions, but through repeated distraction. You pick up your phone without thinking. You drift into thoughts that lead nowhere. You compare your path to others and lose focus on your own. And slowly, your mind becomes divided. Part of you wants to move forward. Another part is constantly pulled away. In ancient practice, attention was never treated casually. It was trained, protected, and directed with care, because attention is not just focus, it is force. Where you place it, energy flows. Where energy flows, results begin to form. So when your attention is scattered, your effort becomes scattered. And when your effort is scattered, your life reflects that fragmentation. This is why progress feels slow, even when you are trying. Not because you lack ability, but because your mind is constantly interrupted. A disciplined mind does not chase every thought. It does not react to every impulse. It learns to return again and again to what matters. At first, this feels difficult. The urge to check, to scroll, to escape is strong, but each time you resist, you reclaim something. A little more control, a little more clarity, a little more direction. And over time, these small acts of control begin to gather. Your attention becomes steady, your actions become aligned, your progress becomes visible, not because you did more, but because you finally stopped dividing yourself. Before money is lost in the world, it is lost in the mind. Not through lack of opportunity, but through lack of control. Watch closely, a sudden urge to act, a quiet fear of missing out, a need to prove something, even when it is unnecessary. These moments feel small, but they carry weight, because decisions made in emotion are rarely aligned with long-term clarity. Impulse pushes you to move too fast. Fear convinces you to step back too soon. Ego leads you into choices that serve your image, not your growth. And without realizing it, progress begins to break. Ancient training does not try to remove emotion. It refines your relationship with it. You are taught to feel, but not to follow blindly. To observe anger without reacting, to notice fear without obeying it, to recognize ego without feeding it. This is emotional neutrality, not coldness, not suppression, but steadiness. A mind that does not rise and fall with every internal wave. At first, this requires effort. You pause more often. You question your impulses. You delay reactions that once felt automatic. And in that pause, something powerful appears. Space. Space to see clearly. Space to choose differently. Space to act with intention instead of habit. This is where better decisions are born. Not rushed, not forced, but measured. You begin to take risks that are thoughtful, not emotional. You move forward with awareness, not pressure. You protect what you build instead of unconsciously breaking it. Over time, this control compounds. Your actions become cleaner, your path becomes steadier, and the mistakes that once repeated themselves begin to fade. Not because the world changed, but because you did. There is a quiet tension in the mind that most people never notice. It feels like urgency, like something must happen now. Results, progress, proof. But beneath that urgency is attachment. A need for things to move quickly, a need to see immediate reward, a need to confirm that the effort is working. And this is where instability begins, because the moment your peace depends on results, your focus begins to weaken. You check too often, you doubt too soon, you change direction before anything has time to grow. Like planting a seed and digging it up every day to see if it has sprouted. In ancient practice, this is understood clearly. Attachment does not just create suffering, it disrupts the process itself. When the mind is restless, action becomes inconsistent. And when action is inconsistent, outcomes become uncertain. So the training shifts away from chasing results and towards stabilizing the self. You learn to stay with the work even when nothing seems to change. You learn to continue even when there is no visible reward. At first, this feels uncomfortable. The mind resists stillness. It wants movement, confirmation, speed. But over time, a deeper strength develops. Patience without frustration, effort without pressure, focus without anxiety. This is long-term stillness, not inactivity, but steady, grounded movement without inner disturbance. And from this place, something rare begins to form: consistency that does not break under stress, clarity that does not fade with time, progress that is slow but certain. This is the mindset most people overlook: not urgency, but quiet persistence, not rushing forward, but remaining steady long enough for the path to unfold. There comes a point where waiting becomes a habit, waiting for the right advice, the right mentor, the right moment to begin, and slowly, without noticing, you give away your authority. But the path of mastery does not depend on perfect guidance. It begins the moment you decide to guide yourself. At first, this feels uncertain. No one is watching, no one is correcting you, no one is reminding you what to do next. This is where most people drift. But in ancient training, this moment is seen differently. It is not a disadvantage, it is an opening, a chance to build something stronger than motivation, a personal system, not complicated, but consistent. You wake at a fixed time. You complete what you said you would complete. You protect your time from what weakens your focus. These small actions seem ordinary, but repeated daily, they begin to shape your identity. Boundaries become clearer. You say no without guilt. You step away from distractions without hesitation. You choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. And gradually, your life becomes structured, not rigid, but intentional. This is where the deeper understanding appears. Structure is not there to control you. It is there to protect your energy. Without it, your day is decided by impulse. With it, your direction becomes stable. And in that stability, something unexpected happens. You feel lighter, less confused, more in control of where your time and effort go. This is freedom. Not the freedom to do anything, but the freedom to stay aligned with what matters. And if this moment reached you quietly and without force, it may be pointing you toward a simple truth. No one is coming to organize your path. So you begin. Not perfectly, but deliberately. If this message found you today, let it sink in quietly. It is not a promise of instant wealth. It is a call to your potential and a reminder of the responsibility that comes with it. True abundance begins inside. Awareness, discipline, emotional control, and inner structure, these are the foundations that last. When you master yourself, the outside world aligns with your efforts naturally. This path is not urgent. It is steady. It is deliberate. It is the journey of becoming someone who cannot remain average, someone capable of sustaining success with calm and clarity. Start small. Observe your habits. Protect your focus. Build routines that strengthen your mind and character. Every small step compounds, quietly shaping the person you are becoming. Take these lessons into your daily life. Move with intention, respond with awareness, and let your inner growth lead the way. If this video resonated with you, join us on this journey of wisdom and mastery. Like this video, subscribe to Hungry Chronicles, and step forward with a calm mind and steady heart. Your path is yours to build, quietly, consistently, and with purpose.